Hey guys, THUNDERSTUD here, and today we are revisiting vampires. I was lucky enough to get a prismatic copy of the new Vampire Sucker, Konami giving us a new form of the good suck in vampires. This time though, you're able to tribute your opponent's monsters as long as they're zombies. So, we need a way to make our opponent's monsters zombies. We're mostly using the skill Posthumous Army, which will, once you lose 1,000, which is really easy to do in vampires, you get to turn all your opponent's monsters on the field, in the graveyard, into zombies. Then we get to steal them. We can tribute summon with them as long as they're zombies and vampire suckers on the field. We can fusion summon with them with Super Poly as long as we have a card to discard. And then all the other normal vampire combos like Awakening and Duke, Grace and Kingdom, all that great stuff. She's really a good addition to the deck. It just she vibes with it perfectly, focuses on the good suck. It's really makes Posthumous Army much stronger. It's only 1,000. Get it while it's still not nerfed, so a very good skill for this deck. The deck's so fun, guys. Vampires have always been so fun. This does make them a little better. Not going to be meta breaking, mind you, but I mean, it's pretty hard to do that without like a first turn negate nowadays. But still, very fun. If you got this monster, definitely try it out in vampires. It's pretty awesome. Posthumous Army is super important. I tried DNA surgery and things like that. It doesn't work. Just use the skill. So hope you guys enjoy, and thanks for watching. Alright, here we are facing a Bakura. We're going first. 30 cards for our boy over there. We're starting with Gozuki and a Familiar. We got a Takeover and a Grace as well, but they're not very good on the first turn. There goes Gozuki, throwing away Retainer. Retainer's going to throw away Familiar. Hop on out. We're going to go into Vampire Sucker immediately after we search a Desire. There she goes, the beautiful Vampire Sucker, ready for the good suck, but she does much more than just suck. When we special summon from the graveyard, you get to draw a card. Familiar is also going to let us search a card, so we still have 4 cards in hand. Minus 1,000 life points, which means our skill's going to be live, which is going to be very useful for Super Poly. We also have Vampire Takeover, bringing out Kingdom in the end phase. Our boy has set 3 cards over there. Now we get another Desire, but that's not important. We normal summon Retainer. He's got a Magician's Navigation. No idea what this is. Something with ritual monsters, you add it later or something. Does nothing for him this turn. He's going to bring out a Illusion Magician and a Dark Magician. Search, obviously, a Dark Magician. Now it's time for us to get back to work. We're going to use Posthumous Army. He's full zombies. We're going to use Super Poly, throw away Desire. There goes Retainer. I used the wrong monster. I was supposed to use Familiar, not Retainer, because of where our Vampire Sucker points. But it's okay. We still have plays for days. We summoned from the graveyard. That means Vampire Sucker is going to let us draw once again. We draw Domain. How perfect is that? Or no, sorry, we searched Domain. Drew Desire. Of course we searched Domain. And then we get 2 monsters out for a link after we use Domain. We gotta move space. I had to use our dragon because he was in the middle, and that's where she points. I should have put the Familiar in the middle or used the Familiar for the fusion, all that stuff. But we go into a Phoenix. We're still doing well. We go into a Phoenix. He's still a zombie somehow. And then we throw away a card to destroy Eternal Soul. You know that destroys the monster. But even if we didn't destroy the monster, we haven't used another normal summon. We're going to be able to normal summon once again thanks to Domain over the Familiar. Look at this field. All those zombies. We picked apart virtually every card our boy had here and won the duel. Great stuff, guys. Alright, here we are facing a Supreme King Jaden. He's on a 4 streak. I'm on a 2 streak. We're going first. He has a Galaxy Cyclone Mat. You really don't see that all too often. While we have Awakening and Takeover. So we're gonna wake up and Takeover. He's Mech Knights. Now he plays probably one of the worst Mech Knights in yellow. Should have known by the time he set that card we should have used Takeover. He wouldn't have had 2 slots there. But we do it a little slow. Here he's special summoning purple. Do a bit of another misplay here with Awakening, targeting his purple. I did not realize it's a quick effect. So he does get to dodge our Instance of Destruction. We do mill a Book of Moon. And we'll get to throw away a Retainer or something. He still gets his unhindered search, so wasn't the best use of our Awakening there. But not much he could do. We get a fresh field with just a Grace and a Familiar and plenty of graveyard setup. So we go with Retainer. Keep in mind we haven't used our normal summon. We get a go Domain again. Posthumous Army. We've lost 1,000. He's full zombies now. Domain's going to give us another normal summon. We haven't used any normal summon. Here's Familiar. Still haven't normal summoned. There's Scourge. We're going to be able to we're link summoning to the whole point we're here, the whole reason we're here. Vampire Sucker. I did get a Prismatic, very lucky. Now Domain, boom. Normal summon 1, boom. Normal summon 2, we just tributed both his monsters. Scourge is going to summon Duke. When Duke is special summoned, we get a mill and destroy his back row. We were so popping off. Great stuff, guys. Alright, here we are facing a Percy Jackson, the most unbearable monster. And he's at 24 cards, 9 in the extra deck. We have a Domain and a Desire, and we're going second. So this is going to be a pretty good duel. He's showing Fluffle Bear. He's going to use that bear to bring out a toy vendor. Things like that. Toy vendor, Dark World Duel Links helps us get a Retainer in the graveyard. Thank you very much. Now we're able to normal summon the that's not a good play. We probably should have gone with Gozuki. We could take the Familiar out of the hand and stuff like that. Didn't need to blow a normal summon on him, and we're going to use a Desire anyway. A bit of a weird turn, but it's okay. Familiar's going to throw away Duke. We don't need Duke this turn. Familiar will search Queen or Grace. I don't know why I call her Queen. And we go with Kingdom. We go, boom, Vampire Sucker. Nothing to summon from our graveyard though. We're going to go Domain. Posthumous Army. Steal his monster. Bring out our Grace. Mill a spell. He's going to get double Toy Vendor effect from this. And I could have swore Fluffles had a monster where it could at least lower some damage you take or something from the hand. I don't know, not quite sure. But obviously we have more than enough lethal with Vampire Kingdom out, so he's going to have a rough time surviving after we took his little Fluffle monster. And now we finish it off, all thanks to Posthumous Army. Very important skill for this deck. Great stuff, guys. Okay, here we are facing a Seto Kaiba. We're going first. Using a pretty cool Sleeve and Mat combo over there, showing Ultimate Dragons. We have 2 Retainers, an Awakening, and the Desire. So we're going to go Retainer into Desire. That's going to mill Familiar. Familiar will throw away Retainer. Hop on out. Search another Retainer. That's all 3 Retainers. Then we're going to bring out that Retainer. Bit of a misplay there. Should have brought Vampire Sucker out. Then summon that Retainer. That would give us a draw 1. That would give us the search of the Retainer. And that would give us room for our Awakening. Obviously, you search the takeover with the Retainer. If we had a Vampire Sucker, we'd have the room. But it's okay. Bit of a misplay. So now we're going takeover. See, we could have got a takeover special summon from the graveyard for another +1 from Vampire Sucker too. Here's going Melody to go with an alternative Dragon Wombo combo. We do have more copies of Melody now. We need room for Awakening. He's going to facilitate, not with the alternative eyes, mind you, but with a whole different card. It's got to be incredibly satisfying. Would have probably hurt our Vampire Sucker, so I guess it's good we didn't waste her. But here, we go with Duke, with Awakening. Duke mills a spell, that pops his monster. Now remember, Duke would be destroyed anyway. He's about to get destroyed by the Deep Eyes. But he would have gotten destroyed in the end phase due to Awakening's ability anyway. Life points are getting really low though. Here we get a Gozuki, perfect. Posthumous Army. Retainer. So he's a zombie now thanks to the skill. We search Domain. We normal summon Gozuki, we mill Familiar, we're going to use Domain, then get rid of it with Familiar, after we summon Vampire Sucker. That way we get the +1. Proper Vampire Sucker. I put him in the proper spot to do more links, so we're going well now. Scourge. Scarlet Scourge would be great if we had the life points to use his 1000 ability. We would take his monsters, summon more monsters, continue our plays. Here we didn't need it as we did have lethal, but let's say we didn't have lethal. He could have continued the plays had we more life points. So still a very interesting monster. Great stuff, guys. Alright, here we are facing a little Yugi who was on a 2-win streak. Not the biggest win streak in the world. Not a huge problem. Starting with Duke, starting with Desire, starting with Takeover. Not the greatest hand in the world. We're going to show our Retainer. We're going to use Desire to Malfamiliar. Malfamiliar. Probably should have sent Desire, or sorry, Retainer, and then Retainer could come back out. We're going to set Duke. Search another Retainer. Go into Vampire Sucker. Now if we summon Retainer, even when he DD Crows the wrong Retainer, we get our Retainer out. That's going to trigger Vampire Sucker. That's going to search an Awakening, even though we don't have a Duke. Usually you want to focus on your Takeover Awakening combo, then you bring out the Duke. Then you're able to pop on your opponent's turn. We got the draw 1 from Vampire Sucker. She's such a good card for vampires. It's just so much fun. I'm going to play a lot more vampires. Very cool card. So, going into a Dark Magical Circle, nothing he could really do. We still theoretically had a pop left if we didn't throw away our Duke, but we did. Doesn't really matter. Vampire Sucker is good in vampires, guys. If you guys get her, she's definitely a great link monster for vampires. It's crazy what archetypes have link monsters. I'm assuming Konami eventually hits all of them. But I love seeing these old archetypes get revived by link monsters, so I know it's hard to dig for this card. I've been trying to get 2 copies pretty much the whole time. I only have 1 copy. But if you guys happen to get it, definitely go for vampires. You probably got a bunch in the reprints. I have so many vampire cards now. It's absurd. Like 8 copies of everything. But I hope you guys enjoyed otherwise, and thanks for watching.